Hi, I'm Paul. This is Theo from swimminglessonslondon.co.uk. We're going to give you a few tips on swimming today. You're more than welcome to contact us for any more information or to book a session. Thank you. Hi, this is a guide to how to improve your swimming aspect on triathlons. The first thing to address is obviously any technical difficulties that you're having or technical incorrectness we need to address first. So first of all, we'll look at Theo swimming without any aids. We're just going to have a look to see if your technique needs improving. So now Theo's a very strong swimmer, elite level swimmer. There's not much that can be improved, but the main things to look out for when you're swimming in a triathlon is to keep a regular pattern that you can sustain throughout the distance that you've chosen to compete in. There's no point going all out and doing a massive big 1500 metre swim when you can't maintain it. Sprint would be recommended for those who are starting out on a triathlon, a smaller distance. What we're now going to look at though is some training principles that can then be used to encourage the swim times to drop quite drastically. So we're going to first of all do an overload exercise on the upper body, which is going to basically involve us crossing our legs together, not using our legs, imagining that the legs are tied together and just using the arms only to do a few lengths. All right? What will happen is his legs will start to drop a little bit and sway a little bit, causing a lot more work to be done on the upper body. So his legs have already dropped a couple of feet below the surface and they're swaying on every one, providing more and more drag. So this is the opposite of what we want to achieve when we're competing. But in training, this can overload our upper body and in essence give us a good upper body workout, which can be achieved in the gym. But in the gym, obviously a lot more exercise needs to be done and there's a much greater risk of injury. We're now going to do the opposite version of that, which equates to overloading the legs. So now we're going to do the leg version by holding a float against the water, 90-degree angle against the water, and just kicking only. To breathe, it's the breaststroke breath. Okay, so this is now providing maximum resistance at the front of the body, so overloading the legs on this occasion. So on both of these drills, we've used specificity on the muscle groups to work them out individually. Again, this is the opposite of what we want to be doing when we're competing. When we're competing, we're trying to minimize frontal resistance and drag. Another thing to be aware of when you're thinking about competing in a triathlon is you need to have different breathing patterns throughout the race, or at least available throughout the race, because you might swim very well the first 500 meters, but then the last section of the race, if you're running out of air, you need to be able to drop down to a faster breathing pattern without it affecting your technique too much. So this time, Theo's going to demonstrate a free-stroke breathing pattern, which is useful when you're doing triathlon, because it's regular and you get to breathe on both sides, keeping an eye on what's going on around you while you're competing. So we start off with 4 lengths free stroke breathing, then Theo will drop down to a 2-stroke pattern to simulate being more tired towards the end of the race. Okay, and now twos, So now, if he was more tired, he'd be taking in more oxygen. And the fact is, the longer the race goes on, the more aerobic capacity is required. An aerobic event, so the breathing has to be spot on and regulated in order to achieve a good time. If breathing stops at any point, you won't get the good time you want. The final drill we're going to go over in reference to triathletes is we're going to go over again a sculling drill, but held at a 90-degree angle at the hips, almost like a seated position whilst we scull. Now this is great for upper body work, but also very good for core stability work. All right, so Theo's now going to be in a sitting position, and now just sculling his way, but maintaining that 90-degree angle at the bum there. So working the stomach, lower back, and shoulders and arms. So in conclusion, when improving your triathlon swimming, you need to think about technique foremost. Then you need to think about strength training, endurance training, and you need to think about what you can do realistically as well, in terms of how often you train and what time do you really expect to be able to get down to. And that was a guide to improving your triathlon swimming. For more info or to book a session with us, go to swimminglessonslondon.co.uk. Thank you.